What's up guys? So this past Monday we got quite a few leaks from none other than Centro Leaks. And normally I don't like to cover leaks other than the one time that I actually did. Normally it's because I don't have much of an opinion on them, but I actually have a lot to say about the information that we were given this time around. And before we dive into the actual video, I just want to say since these are leaks, obviously take everything that I cover with a grain of salt. But with that being said, let's dive right in. So to kick it off, the first bit of information that I want to talk about is that this supposedly is going to be the longest mainline Pokemon game in the series. And honestly, that makes me pretty excited, considering that from what we've seen from the trailers and the previews so far, it doesn't look like much aside from some really basic stuff. So assuming that this isn't just talking about how many objectives that we're going to have to go through in Legends Arceus, hopefully this means that there will be a pretty hefty bit of story that we just haven't been shown so far. And considering that the final goal of Legends Arceus is going to be, well, catching Arceus, I'm guessing that we will have an actual reason for catching it, and maybe we will even get some never before seen lore on Arceus as well as the creation trio. But maybe I'm being too hopeful. I just really hope that it's a lot more than just, hey, go catch this over and over again until they finally tell us to go catch God, and then after we catch Arceus they hit us with the end credits and that's the whole game. Because if that is the case, I honestly think that would be so disappointing. That aside, assuming that there is actually a deep story, it has me very excited because, well, I don't know about you, but I'm a sucker for lore. Now, the next leak that I want to touch on is how grindy and somewhat punishing this game will end up being, which again, I'm really hyped for because this game seems to be shaping up to be what a lot of fans have been asking for years. So the way the post puts it is it's a hardcore game where resource allocation is very important, and at the same time there is a limit to how much you can carry in your inventory, which can be upgraded as you go. And as we've seen previously, we will have to craft all of our Pokeballs. But the extra thing which I find the most interesting and important is that we will actually be punished if our player character ends up fainting. And it's a lot more than just losing some loose change. We will actually end up losing the items that we find on whatever mission we decide to go on. Now, whether that means that we're losing a portion of our items or all of them has yet to be seen, of course, but either way, that makes this game all the more enticing and a lot like Monster Hunter. And between you and I, assuming all of this is true, I really would not mind if we got more games like this, because I know that myself and plenty of my friends have wanted a game similar to what this concept is for ages. But I've gone over that several times in past videos about this game, so moving on to the final leak that I want to touch on, which is definitely going to be the most rage-inducing, depressing, and just straight up potentially heartbreaking. Now, they also have mentioned that shinies will be showing up in the overworld, just like in Pokemon Let's Go. And also just like Let's Go, depending on the Pokemon, they will run away from you. And I'm sure that means that they will also despawn after a while if you try to chase them down. Also, given that the type of game this is, catching some of those shiny Pokemon will be next to impossible, which means that some people will either have their days made or their days ruined. And honestly, I think that's both awful and amazing. I think it's an awful thing because it will suck if they run from you and you just cannot get them for the life of you, but at the same time it will be very satisfying if you do catch the shiny Pokemon. But honestly, as a whole, this all seems like great news for this game, again assuming these leaks are true, because as I've been saying since we got our first look at this reveal, this may end up being one of the better games in the series and is definitely a huge shift in the fundamentals for Pokemon, especially considering that this is shaping out to be more Monster Hunter than Pokemon at this point. But either way, I can't wait till this game drops. Let me know your thoughts on the leaks and even Legends Arceus as a whole. And since we're here and talking about news with Legends Arceus, why don't we also touch on the newly revealed Hisuian Voltorb? Now, the only reason that I'm mentioning this really is just because 20 minutes ago it dropped, but I do think that Hisuian Voltorb is a very interesting take because not only is it the very first grass and electric type Pokemon, if we're not counting Rotom Mow, but it is also a Hisuian form that I feel like nobody really expected to actually exist, because it just seemed way too far out of the realm of possibility for me personally, especially considering that electricity isn't used in the same way in this game as it is in, well, you know, modern times. But I will say that I think it is a very cool Pokemon and it actually looks really adorable. My only question is I don't know what additions they will make to the design to make Electrode look more appealing, because honestly, though there is slight variations of course between modern Voltorb and Hisuian Voltorb. I think keeping that same gimmick for Electrode won't really work as well for me personally. But with that being said, let me know your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and hopefully I'll catch you in the next video.